Hello there, and welcome to the Forts Pro League. And we're off. It's round one between Close Cannon Support and Infernus. On the left-hand side, we have Team Close Cannon Support playing as the Pinch Fist Commander, one of the most popular commanders here in the Forts Pro League. The Benzine and Kriegsul.
Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce that either.
I believe it's
I mean, Benzine is Japanese.
I believe it's
Kriegsäule, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's it. Kriegsäule. You gotta call him Krieg. We have Krieg and Benzine. Playing as the Pinch Fist Commander. It's one of the more popular commanders in the. It's been one of the more popular commanders here in the Forts Pro League for good reason. It's not overly high in the win rate, but it is very effective. It just enables faster weapons, generally faster play. I mean, in a real-time strategy, being more real-time is always a good tactic. On the other hand, we have Team Infernus, who's playing the Overdrive Commander. Overdrive Commander, it specializes in upgrades, but I think people just use it for the extra eco, for the most part. Like, you never go wrong with Overdrive, because you just straight up get more money per money, which is, you know, very nice. The upgrades also help. In case you'll see it a lot for, like, swarm missile rushes kind of stuff, or rather nuke rushes, so you get the nuke out faster, or just later game economic plays. More economy is better. Oh no, not again. Guys, you can't do this! Why? Like, I get it. Pinch Fist, I get it. Pinch Fist specializes in selling off the base. I get it. Everyone's picking Pinch Fist, like an 80% pick rate or something like that. You gotta prepare for this kind of thing, man. You can't let them do this to you. Guy even already had his heavy weapons tech halfway completed before getting buzzsawed. Like, it was at the 2-minute mark. 2-minute mark, guy's almost done with his heavy weapons tech, and he gets buzzsawed. Like, that's the situation we're living in here. Team Infernus takes down Benzine. Close Cannon Support loses a player to Greed again. Pinterest is such a double-edged sword. Yes, they are. Good lord. This is why we say, you gotta be careful with the greed, man. It'll get you. Well, that's gonna put Team Close Cannon Support at the back foot for this round. That's really rather unfortunate for Team Close Cannon Support. But Infernus, they're happy. I mean, they're just gonna casually go up to heavy weapons tech. Like, they're not quite finished with either of their cannon production facilities yet. Krieg over here has been finished with his factory for some time and is starting to finish construction of his teammate's cannon facility. Just puts down a
It's funny that
put down a plasma of his own.
that.
Yeah, I mean, what else is he gonna do? Krieg puts down his heavy weapon, his plasma at this point in time, whereas Team Infernus here is saving up to put down theirs. The Pinch Fist Rush will still get their heavy weapons out before Team Infernus will, but at what cost? It only cost all of your friends along the way.
Maybe the heavy weapons were the friends you made along the way.
I should certainly hope so, because he's got nothing else to help him out. It only cost him everything. So we do see the first cannon placed down for Team Infernus. We're going to see a second cannon here placed momentarily, it would seem. DLMC getting it placed up in this top position. Pulling up an extra battery, delaying his cannon by extra time. And do it. You should be sitting there. Why are you not sitting there placing the cannon? DLMC, you're floating metal. Why are you like this? Thank you. Problem solved. The question is, will Kriegs be able to snipe out one of those cannons before they turn to haunt him? Because there's going to be a lot of incoming firepower. Those kind of kinetics don't play nicely. They're bullies. They punch people in the face with rapid fire, projectiles. And they do it again. They don't stop. We had a stream a while back where I spent 30 minutes pummeling a guy with like 6 cannons. I felt bad for the guy because he just couldn't play the game. He was doing nothing but repairing the entire time. But yeah, that wasn't gonna go for him.
Pretty good shot.
Very well aimed shot. Kriegs tries to go straight for the throat. Bulyaga survives on virtue of having plenty of armor. And very well executed, cut quite deep. Did some notable amounts of deformation. Well, that's another lucky shot. Oh, maybe not a lucky shot, but a risky shot. Kriegs loses half of his energy production for that one. We going up to full defense here. Those energy shields are now a little too close. They won't be. One cannon shell takes them both out of that stage, which is not ideal. Yes, we get a hit.
Those back to doors are gonna cost a lot to repair.
Oh my god, it didn't take out both of them. I was wrong. It almost took out both.
Yeah, but it's still a good cost to repair.
That's still incredibly expensive. Definitely needs to adjust that defense, but to be real here, when you have one player versus two, you don't have a whole lot of APM to go around. Got a lot of base to cover, not a lot of help.
I can hear Vicro suggest a co-op on death.
I am not surprised. That's not what he meant to put there. All right. So it does look like Kriegs here is preparing to get hit by the howitzer, or at least expects the howitzer to start coming through, which is not a surprise to me, given that Team 2, like it's coming up in 8 minutes, and Team 2 only has 2 cannons between them. Now, what are they doing with all their money? They've been clearly ahead for some time. The answer is they're building howitzers. So, Kriegs here is hard reading that and preparing to defend against howitzers by virtue of building a lot of wooden armor and plenty of machine gunners. Firebeam goes clean through. Oh, the worst timing. Saves it anyways. Well, you gotta be careful with those fire beams, as they will absolutely take out the, any anti-air. Imagine the fire beams Krieg's worst friend right now. I wonder if DLMC is just gonna wait for Kriegs to fire his fire beam and then reactively fire his howitzer. You know, he is trying to snipe out those fire beams. A double fire. Oh!
Oh no.
Massive damage. Internal detonation cannon almost eliminates Bulyaga. Team 2 almost loses a player there, and Furnace reeling from that hit, losing multiple cannons and most of a player. Yeah, that was rough. That actually puts Krieg in the lead. Okay. I didn't see that one coming. Team 1 actually in the lead for the moment. It's the economic lead? My god, the man's in an economic and firepower lead. And he's got clean shots on on a weapon that's not properly defended. Oh. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. That would have been close. DLMC there selling off the cannon just in time to prevent a catastrophic fate. Team 2 down to a single cannon right now against 2 fire beams and a plasma beam with a howitzer on the way for Team 1. A howitzer which, mind you, Team 2 is categorically unprepared for. And if you guys remember, howitzer plasma combo is popular for a reason. It's incredibly powerful. You know, if that plasma follows up, and it does, we might see a cannon drop. No, he's safe. Okay. He survives. Once that howitzer comes online for team close cannon support, we're probably going to see a player eliminated. That's going to be a metric ton of firepower, or at least burst damage. A clean cannon shot just snipes out a fire beam. That's a little awkward. But it is now time for close cannon support to retort, and I'm pretty certain neither player for Team 2 has the defenses around their core to defend against this. That is a howitzer plus fire beam plus plasma beam. That can go, I'm pretty certain, clean to any core he chooses. Looks like he chooses not to go to a core, but instead go into the weapons platform. Doesn't have the energy to fully pen. Surprisingly doesn't do much damage. That's going to reveal the howitzer. Give Team 2 time to defend against such things. We see mass 20 mils coming out of Bulliga here. Howitzer cleaned the weapons. Oh, it's close. Oh, it doesn't have the energy to do it. A little delayed. He gets the hit, but not before the repairs come online. It's going to prevent another collapse, but does take out a 20 mil in the process. That'll give Bullig a bit of a delay, but nothing devastating. Just standard cannons flying out from the furnace here. Fire beam into plasma. Oh, wow. Talk about a haircut. I'm pretty certain that physically clipped the graphic there, but not quite the hitbox. Not quite a solid follow-up with those fire beams. But Team 2 is not handling the howitzer well at all. Ooh. That plasma almost getting door sniped by a 20 mil at that. We have a game here once again. Team 2 has recovered. And they're applying pressure to Team 1 once again, but this is coming out to be something like an even fight, which is not how I expected this to go. There it is. More secondary explosions. Bully loses both of their weapons once again.
Ooh.
Not even
door snipe.
I don't even think that was a door snipe. It just had no doors on it whatsoever. It just got pummeled with cannons, so there were no more doors left. Kriegs is running out of eco here. Oh, the cannon's exposed. And the cannon follow-up. Krieg's just constantly building. Surprisingly, it looks like the economic advantage has been mitigated. Team 2 has upgraded a few of their mines. Should put them on about on par as Team 1 in terms of economic potential. The problem they're going to be facing is that it's just a weapon difference. We have a howitzer, a cannon, and a fire beam for Team 1. We have 2 cannons for Team 2. These things are not quite equal. Team 2 still at a weapon disadvantage, but they do have an APM advantage by virtue of having 2 living players. Fire beam follow-up, take out those turbines. You see it. It's enough to take out a couple of them. That'll hurt DLMC a little bit, but not enough to shut them down. All players involved reconstructing their weaponries. Should be Team 2's turn to fire here. Or... nope, focus in on his defenses again. That'll give Team 1 an opportunity to refire. Another clean howitzer hit into the reconstructing weapons. Oh, that'll leave those turbines vulnerable again. Looks like he aims for the weapons. Team 2 struggling to defend here. Multiple vulnerable points at their base at any point in time. It's just a lot of damage. Team 1 just has a whole heap load of damage to dump at all points in time. Honestly, it's the howitzer for Team 1 that's the real problem. Yeah, okay. They sniped that out with a cannon. Little cannon anti-air. For all the constant fire coming out of Team 2, the howitzer is the thing doing the most damage. If Team 2 could shut that down, then Team 1 would struggle to come back here. Like, the regular cannons are nice, but they're not really doing it. Given the large amounts of economy from Team 2, just 1 or 2 cannons is not going to be enough, and Team 2 can tank that forever. But a howitzer mixed in, and it's overwhelming. But here's the thing, Team 1's up to a howitzer, multiple fire beams, a plasma beam, and multiple cannons. You can't take that, and there's no single player here in Team 2 that can take that kind of damage. It's not a thing.
Oh. So close.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty close. Looks like Team 2's lower base managed to get their cannon online once, or their cannon online once again. The howitzer lands, but effectively misses anything worth hitting. Takes out a single sniper. Oh, but he hits the cannon platform. He hits the weapons platform with multiple heavy weapons, and Bully loses another cannon. Doesn't drop anything onto themselves or leave themselves in a difficult situation, but another cannon down. That's just setting Bully back. That just sets Team 2 back even further. Team 2 down to 4 cannons now. Down to 4 cannons. We have a potential vulnerable core. Team 1 activates commander ability so they can pay for additional heavy weapon firing. Trying to go with the fire beam plasma beam combo. Looks like doesn't quite line it up. And pays for his misses with his own plasma. Getting it door sniped in the process. DLMC takes some core damage, but it's not lethal. Knocking him down to 91%. Looks like Team 2 started to get active on the field, bringing snipers trying to get some map control out. Howitzer hits, but is effectively defended. Just standard cannon rounds flying across, trying to deal as much damage as they can. DLMC is ignited. His fire beam's pen deep. It's going to deal a lot of core damage before it gets put out, but it's not going to do anything lethal, and the repair bill will not be particularly high. DLMC is able to repair that up quite quickly. Krieg's activating commander ability for cheaper firing weaponry. Cannons firing, good hits. DLMC out of cash, which means those fire beams are going to pen very deep. Rapidly replaced beach is going to keep him from taking catastrophic damage. Howitzer lands. Massive repair bill, one that DLMC can't quite field. It looks like Krieg's is managing to just wear DLMC down, and I'm not sure if they recognize that yet. DLMC slowly being ground into dust, reduced to the sand in which they surrounded themselves. Looks like Krieg's going to be changing focus down to Bullia again. Trying to keep them in check, to keep those cannons from completing construction. Here's the thing. DLMC's just got a howitzer up again. A howitzer and 3 cannons. A howitzer and 3 cannons, which, if they start landing shots, it's going to put Krieg's into their grave. But that's a pen. Cannon undefended. Team 2 selling off a cannon preemptively to prevent game-ending damage. And there it is. The laser pens, but there's nothing in there to destroy, as it has been sold off. Team 2 developing rockets, which I think is a great idea. It hits deep, but
That was close.
there's nothing there to hit. Bully in the lower base, using rockets to apply pressure to Krieg's here. We've seen them before. Rockets deal devastating. Oh no. Is it over? Not quite.
Not quite.
But that was
Not
close. That was almost a total collapse. DLMC, unable to defend their core properly, takes another direct hit down to 41%. Good lord. Standard cannons firing at close cannon supports the howitzer position. A second howitzer for Team 1. It's not quite ready to fire just yet, but if he can actually get hits from both howitzers, I suspect Team 2 is not going to be long for this world. They're already struggling
Especially
against...
since they don't have any anti-air.
Yeah. It would expect it to land. Uh-oh. Howitzer exposed.
That is exposed.
I think it's gonna be okay.
Well, yeah, the good thing is that it can tank like 5 sniper shots.
Yeah, alright. Howitzer survives, but those rockets are taking their toll. Good lord. All it takes is that one cannon shot to end it. Retasking those fire these lasers have been MVP all game, man. They do so. He's done so much damage with them.
Oh.
But it looks like Kriegs has managed to stabilize enough using those fire beams to knock out just enough weapons to give him
And
the
here
ability to
goes.
repair. Here comes Howitzer 1, Howitzer 2. This could be it. If they has a cannon or laser follow-up, which we know he has, this is likely to be lethal here. Bully full penned, but it's not enough to collapse. Taking damage to his foundation. Oh, that's it. DLMC at tier 3. Are you this desperate? Are you this desperate?
That's
God.
hilarious.
Kriegs trying to defend against the tier 3. Good lord.
Yeah.
Another opening.
2 howitzers is crazy.
Double fire beam, pens, gets the internals, laser follow-up. Cannon follow-up. I think the plasma beam doesn't have... angle on Bully. I think that's what's going on here. He actually can't follow up the howitzers. He's using the howitzers and howitzers alone. So he's having to spread his fire. He can't focus fire. Oh, that's devastating.
Oh.
The tier 3s are getting closer.
They are. Like,
Yep.
Bully just taken game-ending amounts of damage here. Like, they cannot sustain that kind of firepower. But the cannons and plasma keeping the top base of Team 2 in check while the double howitzer play just wipes out the lower base. And this whole time DLMC is just taking chip damage, which is... Oh, okay, now he's finally swapping the top target. Surely DLMC does not survive this. Second howitzer still has to go to lower base due to firing angles, leaving DLMC undamaged. Down to 7%. Team 2 trying to invest into some anti-air. And there it is.
There we go.
Insane.
That's... What a comeback.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
what a comeback. Oh, and everything collapses. Bully's hope.
If people keep asking why we don't have time limits, this is why.
Good God. Well, that's gonna put Team 1. Team 1 wasn't exactly at a disadvantage before. They certainly had a notable lead, but that's gonna put it into near insurmountable. Obviously, tier 3s are tier 3s. They can always just end the game immediately, but I think we're not gonna see that here. Looks like Kriegs is focused on a little bit more defenses around such potential eventualities. Boolia takes a howitzer directly to the core. Second one. Oh, that's it.
Oh. Yep. Wow.
Good
What a game.
lord. What a game indeed. Close cannon support takes it. With 213,000 damage.
More than double the the opponent team.
That was ridiculous. That was absolutely insane. Alrighty then, so now we're off to round 2 after close cannon support had a wonderfully amazing match in the last round. This time the sides are swapped, everything's different. On the left hand side we have Team Infernus playing as the Moonshine Commander. Not a particularly popular commander, but one that is... I think it had a reasonably, if I recall correctly, it had a pretty high win rate. It just wasn't very popular. I think it's just a little... risky.
I feel like the Moonshine with Hurricane and Firebird are outliers because of the small sample size for their use.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It's like not many people pick them, and those that pick them tend to be kind of cheesy. So it's like, surprise! I got you! I won a match. Now that means all 3 times it was used were wins, so it's got a high win rate, but doesn't have a particularly high pick rate because it's just not a high % chance. But here we have playing. It's a Missile Rush, big surprise, out of Team Infernus here on the left-hand side. Playing against Team Close Cannon Support. Not playing nearly as risky and greedy as last round, not selling off literally all the armor on their base. They're playing as Warthog Commander this time, which means we expect to see heavy weapons production facilities, which we already do, so we do see some pretty nice rushes out of them, but nothing that is self-destructive. Yeah, alright, so we see a Swarm Missile Rush accompanied by regular Rocket Rush coming out of Team 1. Now, here's the thing. Seeing a single EMP is not too much of a concern, it's not much of a tell, because the reality is a lot of players will use a single EMP in order to just harass their opponents. You see an EMP, not a big deal. If you see 2 EMPs, you start panicking, because 2 EMPs means heavy investment, and they're actually interested in doing damage, because they can't just swap out of that real quick. So you see 2 EMPs, like, oh no, this is prelude to getting rocket rushed. We need to do something about this now, because if they get those rockets online, then we're in deep trouble. So we see quick expansion just to get additional machine guns and anti-air on the field. Those rockets will be shutting things down and generally causing some support for those swarm missiles, which, by the way, have the EMP effects themselves. We're going to see a lot of EMP coming out of Team 1. Moonshine and their gimmick of additional EMP is kind of a big deal.
That core.
Yeah, it's exposed.
Close.
It's exposed. It's rough. Like there's a lot of damage potentially incoming here.
Oh, if that.
Doesn't quite hit it, but
Oof.
those swarms can hit the core and they can deal devastating damage. It is technically still exposed because swarm missiles, they go all over the place. They splash everything. If there's a hole, they find it. Kind of surprised it hasn't gotten hit yet. Yeah, look at it. Swarms all over the place. I'm also surprised that Bully hasn't Hasn't developed an upgrade center. Surprised either player. Oh, there we go. Just as I was saying it, both players from Team 1 placed an upgrade center down. This will slow down. Having to invest this much in anti-air and just to deal with his aggression has substantially slowed down Team 2 here, but it hasn't stopped them. Team 2 both have completed their heavy weapons, or heavy weapon production facilities. So once they save up enough money, they can just place them down, assuming they have a weapons platform for it, which it looks like neither player does at this point in time. So they'll have to be developing a weapons platform, and then they can save up money for actually placing their weapon down. So Team 2 is not safe just yet. But unless Team 1 ramps up the damage, and Team 1's going to be running out of time here. Fortunately, Team 1 will be ramping up the damage starting almost immediately because they just completed their upgrade centers. The sniper from Team 2 is actually dealing great damage here, shutting down EMPs and machine gunners alike. Looks like their benzene not going to be filled by a buzzsaw once again. The swarm missiles trying to break anything they can, but swarm missiles not great at the whole breaking things. There's that sniper doing the damage it can. Yeah, it takes out. Alright, sniping from Team 2 has just about shut down Team 1 in its entirety. So good work Team 2, good work close air support, and Furnace at the stage where they develop additional weaponry. So they were expecting to slow down their offensive firepower here for a little while they upgrade things. We see the rockets upgrading, we see the nuke upgrading as well, so Team 2 does have a bit of time to recover. And they will be using this time to develop their heavy weapons, which is the expected situation. We see a plasma beam and a howitzer already in progress from Team 2. So Team 1 has about, what is that going to be, 60, 70 seconds to deal critical damage, where Team 2 is just going to end up being, it's just going to end up ahead in terms of firepower. Mind you, that 70-second timer isn't like, oh no, we lose the game. It's just the timer that Team 1 has before Team 2 takes the lead. They can, of course, do something like get a drunk nuke going and immediately change the course of the game, but that's rolling a pretty risky dice. Something they would prefer not to have to do when they could just take advantage of having current firepower control and deal catastrophic damage. Like right now! With a well-placed, with a well-placed buzzsaw, Kriegs loses all of his weaponry. All fire beams, all plasma beams gone.
Jeez.
Improperly defended trunk, and it comes crumbling down. Der Benzene, mind you, still has their heavy weapons. That's going to be the kinetic variety with a howitzer and a 20 mil, which is an interesting choice. Suppose getting anything onto the field right now is better than nothing. Getting it on the field faster to cut that timer down is even better. Weapons have been exposed. Team 1 does know about them. Know about the cannon location for Team 2. But the nuke is actually not ready to fire just yet. Looks like he's opening it up, preparing it to fire. No sniper from Team 1 means it's going to be another little bit. May give Der Benzene the opportunity to fire first. Their commander ability is active, which implies they want to fire first. Howitzer fires. That's it.
Obliterated.
Oh.
No chance to catch. The entire fort gets disintegrated. At least the entire foundation. Warthog empowered howitzer. Massive damage.
Yep.
Vaporized.
Vaporized is the appropriate word. Disintegrated, atomized, just... it's gone. And for his next trick, he's gonna do it again. Drabensian reloads. DLMC's got limited life here before that howitzer comes out. He's preemptively building sacrificial turbines just to eat those howitzer shells, because what else is he gonna do? Eat it to the face? That's a mistake. It's all bad. It's all bad. So now we're in kind of the opposite situation of the previous round. DLMC having to win their 1v2 against his opponent. Buzzsaw trying to chop what it can, doesn't get anything notable. Howitzer flies through again. Impacts a door, detonates on the surface rather than pushing in deep, which is the best case scenario for DLMC, but still, good god. Hey look, Krieg is finally getting their weapons online. After getting bullied by buzzsaws. But Drabensian only has this single howitzer right now. One howitzer does not end the game usually, barring unusual circumstances. It's gonna be another 45 or so seconds before Team 2 can get more weapons on the field. It's gonna give DLMC a little bit of time to manipulate things, to work around. I hesitate to imagine what they would be able to do. They've taken some extreme risks with things, leaving their weapons exposed, which have been discovered by the snipers of Team 2. And just like that, DLMC loses the last of their weaponry. Yeah, this is just an unfortunate situation. Is he... I wouldn't... Like, there's no way he did that on purpose. I mean, maybe he did it on purpose. I don't think he did it on purpose. But taking good advantage of that. One of the side effects of Warthog is that heavy weapons, such as the howitzer, when they miss, they gain an instant reload. So you get to mulligan your shot if you whiff entirely. However, got into a gray zone here where the howitzer technically missed because it didn't hit the enemy fort, but also did all of its damage because it missed the fort by that such narrow of a margin. So he got to shoot the same spot twice, dealing effectively full howitzer damage both times. Which you don't see that every day. This man is just playing fast and loose with his weapons, leaving them exposed, available to, you know, be destroyed by snipers. Oh, it's so much damage.
And he somehow survives this.
Wow. Another exposed fire. That's what, 4 fire beams taken by... That's 4 exposed fire beams taken by snipers?
Oh, yes.
That's, you can't let that happen. Like, I can understand taking a risk with, you know, the first 1 or 2. If you don't have the money to defend him, but... At this point, Team 2's checking for that kind of play. And, this looks lethal. This is what lethal looks like. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
That was a lot of damage. Team close cannon support off the back of an powered howitzer just vaporizes their opponents, Team Infernus, and wins this best of 3, 2-0.